Good morning. Welcome to Rooted and Relevant on this beautiful morning here in South Florida. And we are experiencing a cool 74 degrees, and it is like perfect for working outdoors. And I just may do that today. But we are in Ecclesiastes chapter 9. And in this passage, that we want to deal with today, some people could take it as a little bit negative or discouraging, but I think that a proper perspective and approach to these two verses will really open our eyes to reality. And we know that there's always the debate between an optimist and a pessimist. And, the person who balances the two is called a realist and all of those things. And so that debate is always going to be there, right? Are you an optimist? Are you a pessimist? Or are you a realist? But really, what we want to look at is what is a biblicist? In other words, what is the biblical approach? Because that's going to take, this idea of optimism that is a false sense of positivity, or this depression of constant pessimistic approach to life, or this, I'm going to just live in a real world. All of those things, they have their place. But when we are a biblicist, we just take God for what he says, regardless of what I think, regardless of what I want, regardless of my personality. I just kind of take God at what he says. And so let me read these two verses for you because I think it'll help us. Verse number 11, he says, I returned and saw under the sun. He's looking at life on earth, that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill. In other words, he said, listen, if you just left it to man's abilities, then you would always say that the person who can run the fastest is going to win. The person who's the strongest is going to win the battle. The person who is the wisest is going to make the most money. The person who understands money is going to become richer. The person who is talented is going to excel the furthest. And that's what secular humanism teaches us. But I do think that it's very important for us to realize that we have an appointment with death. It can happen at any time. And no matter how talented the person is, death ends the talent. No matter how wise the person is, death ends their ability to earn money or to make a mark on society. No matter how strong the person is, death ends their ability to win the battle. No matter how fast a person is, death ends their ability to win the race. And so that's where I said, if we're not careful, we can turn this text into something very negative, very pessimistic, very discouraging. But I think if we just take what God is trying to explain to us, what Solomon is trying to convey from his perspective at the end of his life, looking back, and that is this: it's never going to be about us. It can't be. It won't be. And so we have to get to the place where we realize this is all about God. And whether we're running a race or fighting a battle, whether we're excelling financially or making a mark in society, or whether or not we're exercising our talents and abilities God has given to us, it's never going to be about us. It's about showing God we're thankful that he's given to us these abilities and opportunities in life, and that we want to use them not to draw undue attention to ourselves, but to draw attention to him who is so gracious, drawing attention to God, who is the author of everything we can do and the opportunities that we have. And so Solomon said, listen, Stop making it about you. If you win the race, God gave you the ability. If you're earning excessive money, God's given you the wisdom. If you're winning the battle, God's giving you the strength. If God is allowing you to get ahead with the use of your talents and gifting, God gave those to you. And so let's not take ownership of something that has been graciously extended to us. Let's manage it in a way where God, who is the giver of it, is glorified. Why? Because death is coming. Maybe my best illustration I can give to you is I love to hunt, and I love to embrace the challenge of trying to harvest a big buck. And big bucks do not get big by being stupid. They're incredibly smart, and their instincts are amazingly keen. And in order to take one intentionally, takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of discipline, and a little bit of just being in the right place at the right time. Now, you can increase your odds of being in the right place at the right time with good homework and good discipline and all of those things, but you never know. You cannot predict what a big buck is going to do. And one of the things that was amazing to me is not many years ago, I can't remember how many years ago, I saw in a magazine where a 14-year-old boy in his first hunt, on his opening day of the hunt, shot this monster buck. And when he was being interviewed, they asked him, "Did you know that buck was in the area?" He said, "I had no idea about any bucks in the area. I was just going out to hunt with my dad, and he put me in this spot, and this buck showed up first thing in the morning." And that's the way it works. And that's what Solomon is saying. Listen, sometimes you work so hard to get a monster buck, and you put in all the effort and all of the time. And this person who just gets lucky happens to shoot a monster buck bigger than anything that you were able to. And because that's life. And that's what Solomon is going to say when he says, you know what? It happens. Chance happeneth to them all. Verse number 11. Sometimes it's just something happens to the fastest runner. He trips out of nowhere. He gets a leg cramp out of nowhere. And the person who isn't nearly as fast wins. It just happens. The person who is so talented somehow has an off day, and somebody who's less talented wins. Those things happen. And then sometimes somebody just gets fortunate because of how life circumstances work and the situation presented itself. And who was it that allows all of that? God. So let's live in light of the fact that God is in control and he gets glory. And we should give him his due credit for the amazing grace that he bestows upon us. And let's not make life about us. Why? Because we're only here a short time. Let's use this time, whatever amount of time it is, to give a right opinion of our great God. And so that's the lesson. It is appointed unto man once to die. That is true. And that's going to happen should the Lord tarry his coming for all of us. But whatever time we have, let's buy it up and let God be glorified in it. I hope you have a great day. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless.